Hey, welcome sports fans to today's Sports Roundtable. Glad you joined us as we are pretty much in a midway point of an in-between point of the fall and winter sports seasons. So it's been a couple weeks since we've really had anything going on locally here in the southeast Missouri area, as our local teams have pretty much been defeated and wrapped up our football seasons. But we do have a few matchups to report on that took place this weekend, heading into the state championships next weekend over the Thanksgiving holidays. So we're going to take a look at that here momentarily, but going to touch on some basketball tournaments that are going to be getting underway in a few weeks as well. And again, we're just kind of playing the waiting game now, heading into the winter sports season, and we're going to have a basketball preview coming up next week, which we'll talk about as well. So again, not a whole lot to report on, but just coming back to you here on each roundtable and just updating you on the local things happening in our area. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of those matchups that took place today, actually on Saturday. Take a look at the Class 1 semifinals. Lamar defeated Lutheran North 7-6, and it was a blocked field goal attempt, or a blocked extra point attempt by Lamar. That was the difference in the game, and this was going to be a big-time matchup coming into this contest. Lutheran North defeating Trinity Catholic a few weeks back in the district championship, which Trinity went to the state championship last year, and Lamar defeated them in that state title game last year. And Lutheran North advancing over Trinity a few rounds back and matching up in the semifinals up at Lutheran North here on Saturday afternoon. And Lamar getting that victory with a blocked field goal attempt, a point after attempt being the difference. And of course it would be, coming down to just something simple as a extra point attempt between those two powerhouses. Lamar advances on to the state championship game, and we'll talk about that more here in a moment. Also in the Class 1 semifinals, Valley Catholic up at St. Genevieve, looking to get back to the state championship for the first time in 3 years. They went 2 straight seasons without a state championship appearance, which is certainly out of the norm for Valley Catholic, and they get the victory over Lockwood with Golden City 41-27, advancing on to that Class 1 state championship for Class 1 in Missouri. And those are the games that took place over the weekend. Not really in our area, but certainly big games to take a look at for the weekend, as big significance going into the state championships next week over the Thanksgiving holiday. And taking a look at those matchups, Valley Catholic advancing on to the finals. They will take on Monroe City in that state championship game at Faru Field in Columbia, and that will be next Saturday up at Faru Field in Columbia. And Valley Catholic, as we said, 3 years since they've been in the state championship game, looking to make it back, and they are back, looking for that state championship this year to bring back to St. Genevieve. So we'll see what happens there over Thanksgiving weekend next week. And also in Class 2, Lamar advancing to the state championship in Class 2 again, taking on Lafayette County. Not really a familiar foe that they've appeared with in the state championship or even late in state tournament play, but Lamar looking really strong. Lafayette County put up a lot of points here in the semifinal round, but I don't think it'll really amount. It's not going to be a high-scoring game. I don't think Lamar going to certainly keep the scoring down as such as they did with Lutheran North, and probably looking for that to be a low-scoring affair again, with Lamar looking for its 7th straight state championship. Unbelievable, the run they've been on when it comes to them. Valley Catholic, I think they put a string of 5 straight or 6 straight up to a couple of years ago, and Webb City had, I think, 6 straight as well up until a few years ago. And Lamar was right there. There were Lamar, Webb City, and Valley Catholic going on these long stretches of state championships. Lamar is the only one that's kept their streak alive, going for their 7th straight coming up next weekend in Columbia for that Class 2 state championship. So we'll see what happens. Be exciting to see what takes place there as Lamar goes for their 7th straight state championships. It's just been an unbelievable run. They've had some close calls. Last year in that state championship game, I think they beat Trinity Catholic by maybe 1 touchdown, 7 points or 8 points. Certainly got tested last week. I had a close one last week. I think it was a 1-score game there last week, and especially last night, this afternoon here, Saturday afternoon up in St. Louis. And the block extra point attempt was the difference in that game. So they've had some close calls over the last 2 years, but they survive and advance, and that's all that matters. And we'll see if they can close it out with a state championship victory over Lafayette County next weekend in Columbia. We'll see. An unbelievable run by Lamar over the last 7 years. And speaking of Webb City, they're back in the state championship. They won the semifinal round last night over Platte County. So they defeated Platte County in the semifinals, moving on to the state championship. And they've had a drought of 2 years as well, 2 straight years. They lost the state championship 2 years ago and just really fell apart in that state championship game against Kearney 2 years ago. Fumbled right at the 1-yard line at the end zone with a chance to go ahead, and lost that one. Then last year, just really out of sorts last year. Only made it to about the quarterfinal round last year and lost in the state playoffs. Now back in the state championship this year in that Class 4. So we'll see what happens next weekend, over Thanksgiving weekend, in those state championships up at Faru Field in Columbia, the home field of the Missouri Tigers. And we're going to take a break and be back with some basketball tournaments that are coming up, getting underway with the basketball season here in a couple of weeks. And also we'll talk about our basketball preview coming up as well.
At Ag Explore, we're farmers too. So we know that farming's never been a 9-to-5 job. Just like the farmer, we work overtime to bring you whatever it takes. Solutions like InZone help you retain 47% more nitrogen with an overall average increase of 12 bushels per acre. Imagine what InZone can do for you. Ag Explore.
At New Wave, we're proud to call the communities we serve our home. Our customers tell us having a local office is important to them. That's why we maintain dozens of local offices and employ over 500 skilled employees, all focused on delivering the best customer experience. We don't just connect communities, we connect to our communities, helping support the schools, organizations, and events that support all of us. Thank you for choosing New Wave Communications, your local provider of internet, TV, and phone.
Bud Shell Ford and Dexter has become your auto service hub, serving all makes and models. They have some of the best technology on the market, giving you the best experience possible. Like their Quick Check, which inspects your battery life, tire alignment, diagnostic codes, and tire tread depth. Bud Shell can assess your car's health in minutes and provide the quick fix. They also provide pickup and delivery for your convenience. Their wrecker service is available 24/7. Call anytime. Bud Shell's mechanics are Ford certified and have the service staff to get your auto back on the road in its best form. That's Bud Shell Ford in Dexter.
And welcome back, and taking a look at your basketball tournaments coming up in the area. Taking a look at the boys SEMO Conference Tournament. Those seeds were released earlier this week, and no real surprise as the Sykeston Bulldogs are at number 1 coming into this tournament as the defending SEMO Conference champions from last year, and a loaded team they've got coming back in the Sykeston Bulldogs, led by Thatch. He's been a top player since his freshman year. Now he's finally a senior, and with all the other contributors, they've got Jones. They got a couple players that's moved in as well. So, a stacked team in the Sykeston Bulldogs coming back this year. And followed by Charleston at number 2, 3 Jackson, 4 Cape Central, 5 Poplar Bluff, 6 Notre Dame, 7 Dexter, 8 New Madrid County Central, and 9 Kennett. So the tournament matchups will be 8 and 9 as kind of the opening round game. New Madrid County Central and Kennett. The winner of that game will go on to take on Sykeston, the number 1 seed. And then the other first round matchups will be Charleston versus Dexter, the 2-7 game. The 3-6 game will be Jackson versus Notre Dame, and 4, Cape Central versus 5th, Poplar Bluff. Those will be your first round matchups in that SEMO Conference Tournament at the Sykeston Fieldhouse. Getting underway still in a couple more weeks until that tournament gets underway in Sykeston. So big tournament as always at the first of the year, and we'll be looking forward to seeing how that plays out in that SEMO Conference Tournament in Sykeston. And actually that's about 3 weeks away, so still got some time yet for that tournament in Sykeston. And take a look at more of the smaller schools in the area. The Bernie Invitational Tournament released their seeds earlier this week, and the Bernie Mules taking the top seed. They will open up with Holcomb in the first round, the 8th seed. The 2nd seed, Risco Tigers, will open up with 7th seeded Campbell in the first round. 3rd seeded Neelyville will take on 6th seeded Bloomfield. And 4th seeded Puxico will take on 5th seeded Twin Rivers. Those will be the first round matchups for the Bernie Invitational Tournament this year. And we will have our schedule reveal and our basketball preview coming up, which we'll talk about. But we will go ahead and reveal that we will bring that tournament final from Bernie Friday, December 1st, 7 o'clock start. And we'll carry that live right here on YHC TV and YHCTV.com. So look forward to that from Bernie live Friday night, December 1st. That's 7 o'clock right here on YHC. And always enjoy that Bernie tournament. Seems like it's a really good tournament for the small schools there amongst the Class 1 and 2 schools in the area. Get to see, really see how they come into the season with the teams. And some really good teams in there. Bernie and Risco, wouldn't be surprised we see them in the finals. Bernie coming back with one of their more experienced teams they've had in a while. These senior classes coming in, they've been playing at the varsity level, even whether it's in a starting role or a reserve role, with a lot of minutes coming into this senior year since their sophomore year. Yeah, they've been a very experienced team coming back this year. Risco, the same. Got a really good team coming back, just losing a couple players from last year in that district championship run. They fell just short of Scott County. And, 2 really good teams there at the top of that tournament. And Neelyville, a little bit different team in the mix this year. They haven't been in this tournament the past few years, but in there this year. So that'll be a nice little mix there. Puxico from the Stoddard County Conference. Twin Rivers been playing in that tournament quite a bit. They've been in the tournament final quite a few years, as this tournament revolves or cycles between Bernie, Holcomb, and Campbell. And Bloomfield there in the mix as well, Campbell and Holcomb. And we'll see what happens in that Bernie Invitational Tournament getting underway the week after Thanksgiving. So that's a good tournament to follow, and we'll carry the finals of that here on YHC. And take a look at the Riverbend Classic. That's going to be coming up over Thanksgiving weekend, and the Friday the 24th will be Charleston versus Cairo, kicking that off at 2 p.m. Friday afternoon. Then at 3:30, New Madrid County Central versus Lake County, Tennessee. Later on at 5, Scott County Central will take on West Memphis, Arkansas. And the nightcap, 6:30, will be Kennett versus Covington, Tennessee. So those are the Friday games at New Madrid. Then on Saturday at 10 a.m., Scott County Central will take on Cairo. Following at 11:30, Kennett versus West Memphis, Arkansas. Then at 1, Charleston versus the Vashon Wolverines, the defending Class 4 state champions, making an appearance at this year's Riverbend Classic. And the Charleston Blue Jays will take on the defending champions of Class 4 in Missouri, the Vashon Wolverines. Big matchup there. A lot of talent will be on that floor for that 1 o'clock game at New Madrid on the 25th. And then to wrap up the Classic at 2:30, New Madrid County Central taking on Covington, Tennessee. So those are the matchups to look forward to over Thanksgiving weekend in that Riverbend Classic at New Madrid. And kind of the same teams we see there every year: Cairo, Covington, Tennessee, West Memphis, with a couple with the local teams in New Madrid, Kennett, Scott County Central, Charleston. And Charleston going to have the hands full with Vashon Wolverines coming to town. So it's a great addition, bringing the Vashon Wolverines to the Riverbend Classic. And we'll be looking forward to that as well over that Thanksgiving holiday. So big games there in New Madrid for next week. And we're going to take our last break here. We're going to wrap up with our talking about our basketball preview coming up. And we're going to talk about that coming up next.
Well, I love it.
I know, right? I saw it and I was just like, oh, I have to have it.
Is it suede?
Suede. Love suede.
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these.
Well, I love it. I know, right? I saw it and I was like, have to have it. Is it suede? It's suede. I love suede.
That's why we're there with renter's insurance when things go wrong, but also here with a rewards credit card to help life go right. State Farm.
Talk to State Farm agent Chris Brannon in Dexter today.
For more than 75 years, the law firm of Crow, Reynolds, Shetley, McVeigh & Shear, LLP, has served the legal needs of Southeast Missouri. Located at 308 1st Street in Kennett, Crow, Reynolds, Shetley, McVeigh & Shear, LLP is a full-service law firm providing representation in a wide range of areas, such as personal injury, workers' compensation, family law, criminal law, probate, business, and estate planning. For all your legal needs, call Crow, Reynolds, Shetley, McVeigh & Shear, LLP at 573-888-4664.
And welcome back, and we're going to wrap up the show today talking about our basketball preview. Our basketball preview and our schedule release, our broadcast schedule release, will be held this Tuesday starting at 7 o'clock right here on YHC, YHCTV.com, and we'll bring it Facebook Live as well for our basketball preview right here on YHC. So look forward to that. We're going to go through every game that we're broadcasting this year, and along the way, we're going to look to have some guests along for the program with some area coaches, try to bring in some sports writers as well if we have them in here in the studio or over the phone, and even bringing some video in on the guests as well. So look forward to that. This coming Tuesday night live right here on YHC, YHCTV.com, and even on SemoSportZone.com as well. So a really nice show we're going to bring to you Tuesday night. Going to have Tommy Jacobs along with us, try to get some of our other contributors as well, including some area coaches and sports writers in on the roundtable, or it's not the roundtable, the basketball preview come Tuesday evening, 7 o'clock start, and we'll look forward to that. We're going to go through every game of our broadcast schedule, and along the way we're going to bring in some coaches and guests to talk about the season coming up and the teams that are getting ready for the season already. So we'll be looking forward to that Tuesday night, and we'll look forward to bringing that to you right here on YHC. I'm really looking forward to this season. We had a great season last year, going back to the Bloomfield Christmas tournament and into state tournament play. We had quite a few state tournament games we brought to you. A lot of good teams did well last year, and we're looking forward to another great year this year, and we're going to bring a whole lot of games to you live once again this year, and we're looking forward to that as well. So really looking forward to this season. A lot of teams coming back with some great teams, and some of the, over the last year or so, we've seen some teams that have traditionally struggled and really coming along with some pretty good teams to compete. The Stoddard County Conference had some of its best years over the last 2 years. Teams really playing at a high level across that conference, and the Boot Hill Conference has been great. The Tri-County's been a little top-heavy there with Risco there in the last couple of years, but looking for a better year out of the Tri-County Conference. Boot Hill Conference has been great. Really good teams out of there in Haytie, Crothersville. Malden's been there in the mix, and we'll be looking forward to another great year of high school basketball here on YHC, and look forward to that basketball preview and the broadcast schedule release as we go through our broadcast schedule Tuesday night at 7 right here on YHC. So we'll be looking forward to that. Hopefully you will as well. Come Tuesday night starting at 7 p.m. And we're going to wrap it up with that today. Coming in down to the last few weeks of the college football season. Big games today taking place. Wisconsin got a victory over Michigan. Miami escaped over Virginia. So we'll see what happens as we enter to the last couple weeks of the season and into the college football playoff or the conference championships, and then the college football playoff. Going to be exciting come bowl season in college football. And as we said, football is pretty much done here, with the exception of Valley Catholic up there in St. Genevieve. fighting for that Class 1 state title next week. Other than that, we're just getting ready for some basketball coming up, and we're going to bring a lot of it to you this year here on YHC and SeamoldSportsZone.com. So, all right, look forward to that Tuesday night with our basketball preview, and we might not have a roundtable next Saturday. We might just air the basketball preview for next week's roundtable next Saturday over the Thanksgiving holiday. It's likely what we'll do. And until then, Tuesday night, live at 7 here on YHC. Have a great week, and of course, after that, have a great Thanksgiving holiday, and we'll see you next time.